welcome to my channel. My name is Joy. Hey folks, it's Joy. Welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to be answering the question, should I talk about specific professors in my personal statements? But before I get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel so you know every time I release new videos and you don't miss any of them. Coming up in the next few months, I'm going to be talking about what to do after you get accepted into college. Those admissions letters should be coming out very soon. It's the end of February, usually get those about March. And then how you get scholarships, financial aid, what you should be thinking about over the summer, what you should pack to take to college life in general, but mainly everything to do once you've gotten accepted, what to look forward to, and then we'll start the process all over again. Also, don't forget, if you have specific questions about anything college admissions related, go ahead and leave that question down in the comments and I will try to get back to it as soon as possible and answer the question. Doesn't matter what the subject is, I try to have a little bit of knowledge about everything, and I'm never too busy to answer one of the questions because it's what I like to do, is help as much as possible. So leave those questions down in the comments if you have them and I will get back to you and answer. All right, again, today I'm answering the question, kind of a question and answer session here. Should you include specific professor names? You didn't Red Dog down there growling. Should you include specific professor names in your personal statements? Of course, the answer is it depends. And I would say it depends on kind of what kind of program you're applying to and then the level of the degree, if that makes sense, and I'll explain that later. So for the most part, if you're applying as an undergraduate, you know, general admission, meaning you're not going into a specific major program, you're not going into a specific college. I know some of the UC schools are like that. There is direct admission. I don't think it's really beneficial at all to mention specific professors within a specific department, within a specific program. I'll take, for example, the colleges I've read for. I've read for University of Washington and University of California, San Diego. And University of Washington gets about 50,000 applications a year for undergrads. And then UCSD gets maybe 100,000. And so think about how in this last year for UCSD we had well over 100 admissions readers, so 100 different folks reading applications. And when you just have that much volume going through applications as kind of efficiently as we have to, and then me not being within a department at UC San Diego to really even know those professors individually or know if the professor you want to work with is still there, again, it just doesn't provide much benefit. So should you talk about your professors in your undergrad personal statements if you're just applying regular admission? It doesn't really have any benefit. It won't hurt, but I'd say use that space to talk about yourself as opposed to some professor who you may or may not end up working with, especially if you're going into as you know, unspecified major so far. Of course, if you're going direct admissions, you know you're applying to the College of Engineering and you want to work on in this major and do this type of research, it makes more sense then. Plus, you'll have a general admissions reader from the university at large, and in most cases, another person from the department you're applying to also reads your application. So of course, in that case, it makes sense to mention the professor by name. But again, if you're applying general admission undergraduate, not that beneficial. You can save the space and use it for something else. Now, if we're talking about a grad school program or even a PhD program, and again, you're applying to a specific college. I went to the UW-Washington, so I know that one the best, and so I went to the Evans School and I applied to the public policy program. And so long-term professors there, you're knowing you want to go into a specific grad school track. It may, in the essay prompt, grad school essay prompt, ask, why do you want to attend this public policy school? It makes sense to talk about wanting to work with a specific professor, i.e., I want to go to attend this program to get an MPA at the University of Delaware because I'm intrigued by Professor Xavier's work on biomechanics, and I want to either follow that research, work closely with the source material, or work with Professor Xavier himself. So that makes sense. Again, grad school program, you know the college you're applying to. You're applying directly to the department. They ask why you're interested. It makes sense, of course, to mention a professor by name, and I would agree and recommend a grad student do just that. PhD, of course, makes even more sense. I know at a school as big as the University of Washington with 40,000 undergrad students, you can have as few as 3 PhD students in a program per year. So with that few students whose research is very specific, their research topic is even more specific, and their hypotheses even more so, yeah, there have to be professors on hand whose research aligns, their specialties aligns, their expertise aligns with the interests of that student. So, you know, before a PhD student even applies to a program, there's kind of already that pre-existing relationship either between the department in general or between specific professors, or there's a knowledge of the student, of the professor's research, and they know that they're applying to this program to work with this specific program, research, interest, or professor. Hope all that makes sense. So again, I'll go over that. Undergrad students, not really necessary to mention the professor by name. Really is not going to provide a benefit if you're applying to especially large universities and going with your major unspecified. Direct admission, of course, makes more sense. When you get those why us questions, makes sense for undergrad, makes sense for grad school. You're applying directly to grad school programs, and they ask you why you're interested in attending this program and going to this school, why this interest. You know, again, use the example that I want to work with this professor, their research is awesome, I want to be close to the source material, this lab is where this discovery happened, and this professor runs this lab, and that's where I want to be. That's where I see my future career going. And then, of course, with PhD students, those research programs are so specialized and nuanced in the skills and techniques and research that they do, that I think it's only beneficial to talk about how your interest as a potential PhD candidate aligns with professors and research happening at the school. So that's my take. Different levels of education and admissions require, I think, a different degree of specificity when it comes to working with certain professors. That is my recommendation. Undergrad, not so much. Grad school, yes. PhD, of course. Don't forget to leave a question if you have it. That's what I have for now, and I appreciate you tuning in. I will see you next time.